My people, the beautiful and handsome people of Africa, with the very shineful and attractive skins that fits in any conditions in Africa, in our own continent. Let's not impact into hypocrisies while growing to be saints. What happened in America? I mean, the kill of George Floyd. Let us not distribute that we are shocked, while it also happened here in Africa, where African reader, African handsome, beautiful, are being killed by our own African reader. You can see today what happened in America surprises what happened in Africa. When you don't value your own life, don't expect somebody else to value it. We African, we don't value the life of our own African people. So let us not think that the white people will value our life, since they have their own plan. They plan every morning on how to finish us, either financially or all that. You can see today, when an African comes from South Africa to Cote d'Ivoire, we just consider him as a foreigner. When somebody came from Togo to Nigeria, we consider him as a foreigner. When somebody came from Kenya to Rwanda, we just consider him as a foreigner. When somebody came from Uganda to Tanzania, we just consider him as a foreigner. When somebody came from Tunisia to Togo, we just consider him as a foreigner. When somebody came from Nigeria, to any other country in Africa, in Sudan, in Ethiopia, and in all other countries in Africa, rotating in our own continent, we just consider him as a foreigner. But when the white people came in Africa, we just consider them as visitors, and it takes us time even to create a room for them to rest, and we don't even ask them stupid and nonsense questions that we asked our own black people, that such as, how long will you be here, where are you coming from, which city do you come from, do you have passport, which route do you use. We don't ask them, but we ask our own Africans. So you think that the white people will value our own life when we don't value their own life. In America, people moves. We are the ones without even being asked, where do you come from and what have you been doing for all those days. But it happens here in Africa. We are tested to see the assassinations that are carried out in our own continent. Our readers assassinate people every afternoon, and we don't talk and share that in social media, in TV, radio, and magazine. Today, we pretend that what happened, what white people are doing, is something new to our face. Shame on ourselves, we African. In South Africa, just the last year, was it last year or this year, we experienced the mayhem where people, thousands and hundreds of black people were killed, while asserts that people from neighboring countries, I'm talking of, for example, in Ghana, Nigeria, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, Togo, Ethiopia, Sudan, Tanzania, Cote d'Ivoire, Congo, and all other neighboring countries, that they have assumed their jobs and vacancies. How can a person come from different country and come to your country and assume your job when you are there? That means you are sleeping, and they always say, let sleeping dogs sleep. But when somebody comes to work outside, we rush to bring pangas and kill these people. But we don't talk of white people who have come to our own country and assume out our vacancies. We only see this to our black people. That when a Kenyan goes to South Africa, to Rwanda and have a job there. People just want to discuss, so this person is a foreigner coming and has assumed a job out. But we don't talk of white people when they come to a country and assuming back our jobs. We don't talk about that. Shame on ourselves, we African. We are witnessing that. My fathers, my brothers, being intercepted by our own readers, and they are lost until today. My people, let us not be desestimate. We have to think big and talk about this. Let us start with our own, from our own countries, and other white people's countries, they will copy and will not be killed. White people are planning on how to finish us economically, but our readers, by using our readers as a bite to get all they want, and they pretend to support them, pretending to be our closer friends, but with different faces. Africa, we have everything. God give us all extractives. We have gold, we have diamond, we have forest, river, ocean, seas, gas, wild animal, hills, mountain, fertile lands. We are also blessed because we are the only people with very strong body and very good skins that we can stay within any condition and in any climate in the world. We are blessed on that. And all what we have seen today. But today our leaders are selling all this to the white peoples. You can have everything. We can't have everything, and at the same time we beg for help from who he depends to get materials from us. We have everything that if we will use it by ourselves, Africa as a continent will be the richest continent in the world. But our readers consume it. Shame on us, we African. What people are telling us and teaching us and explain this and express it to our youths and all over, that madawa ya kulevya are very legal. But the same madawa ya kulevya are very expensive to their own countries than in our countries. You can imagine that. What comes into your mind? What do people teach us? That the more the population, the more the growth rate economy in the country. And once they realize that, they come up with a plan, and the plan of upangaji uzazi with tablets and medicine that has drop the cases of cancers and vacuum as a major problem to our family that we're experiencing today. Hello, African. What comes into your mind, my brothers, my sisters, and my reader? They want the African population to remain constant in that the growth rate economy of a continent also to remain constant, in that tomorrow we don't depend on ourselves, we continue depending on them. I fail to understand when our readers meet in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. What do you discuss about? I think you discuss on how you will make an exchange of self-banking billions of money that you steal from your own country. Shame on you. Today, an African reader who pretend to be smart brain guy, you steal the money from your own country and run to bank in America, in white people's bank. And these people use this money to build factories, and these factories enable them to employ their youth. They create job opportunity to their youth by building factories and industries. By these billions of money that you will still be leaders of Africa, you steal from your own country and rush there to bank it, instead of banking it to your own country and use it to give loans to your youth so that they can start small business. They can practice self-employment with billions of money that you steal from them and take it to bank in America, in China, and all over UK. You invest it in industries, in factories, because there's no any continent in Africa, in a country in Africa, where the president can stand and say that his country don't have food factories. It's on that you are stupid. Today God is being surprised when he gave us all talents. And I say this, Africa, we are talented, but white people are trained. That's why you can see today we have very strong and intelligent boys and girls that are well talented. If you can see in La Liga, EPL, and all over the world, in cricket, and all the man-made games that you will find that black people does well than white people. And that's why I'm saying Africa, we are talented, but white people are trained. African, can't we invest in football? Can't we invest in cricket? We can. If we will do this, we will have Barcelona of Africa. If we will do this, we will have Chelsea of Africa. We will have Manchester City of Africa. We will have Madrid of Africa. Because if you will be given a chance to mention the top 50 best football players in America, in La Liga and EPL, the top 30 are African. But we don't think about that. We African, do you want to tell me that we can't invest in music? We have good singers, and if we will practice investing in music, we can have Carl Jones as Drake of Africa, Diamond Platinum as a Chris Brown of Africa. We have Rihanna, the African princess, as Nandi as a Rihanna of Africa. We have Flavor, Octobiso, Burna Boy, Techno. We can have them as Drakes of Africa. We can have them as the best musician in Africa if ever. We have all extractives, but China have industries. Every morning, China and America build factories while they don't have attractives and food factories, knowingly that they will get it from Africa. Since we don't have factories, we don't invest in factories, but we invest in our own stomach. That's why when we apply a loan to build factories, it takes long time to be given. But if we apply a loan to build factories and industries, but if we African we request, we beg them to give us a loan to deal with corona pandemic, it only takes 1 day to be signed out, because they well know that this virus is a man-made diseases. They made it from their own countries planning to finish African, but God is great. It has finished all of us. We talks about George Floyd in America. Let us ask ourselves how many Africans are being killed due to political mayhem, and some are killed just because they have said and want to be somebody. Let us ask ourselves, where is George Gundanga? Let us ask ourselves, where is Peter Rusangolonza? Where is Ramatan Abdul Nasir? Where is Jojagonga Makondo? Where is Henry Tomatonga? Where is Omango Lukanda? All these people were finished by our own reader. But today, we pretend that the kill of George shocked the world. African, don't let go what we have, for we will cry for what we don't have. Once the white people will finish quarreling out at all the attractive that we have, we will ascertain that our friend in wanting is a big achievement, friends. For we as Africans,